Today I want to talk about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. The reviews are coming in and it's not looking good for this film. I don't think anyone's surprised at this. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was just terrible and nobody was asking for a fifth film, but Disney and Lucasfilm decided they could squeeze a bit more money out of this franchise and they went ahead and made it. Now when the reviews first started coming out, this was at 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, and as you can see, it's now down to 43%. So it's not doing particularly well. Now I just want to have a look at some of the reviews which has been given. We've got a few here. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny may not be the finest film of the franchise, but it's far from the worst. It's a solid entertainment with a legendary character riding off into the sunset one final time. Indiana Jones rode off into the sunset at the end of The Last Crusade, which should have remained the final Indiana Jones film. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is a bold, bright and blazingly fun reunion with our favourite hero. And then we get to some of the negative reviews. It's an improvement on the Crystal Skull, but James Mangold's exhuman of Steven Spielberg adventure serial is both tame and unnecessary. The jokes, the zest, the exuberance just aren't there, so instead of a joyous send-off for our beloved hero, we get a depressing reminder of how much livelier his past adventures were. I mean, Harrison Ford's getting on now. It was never going to be anywhere near the quality of the original three. I don't think anybody ever expected it to be. This is a big, bombastic movie that goes through the motions but never finds much joy in the process. Despite John Williams' hard-working score, continuously pushing our nostalgia buttons and trying to convince us we're on a wild ride. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is dutifully eager but ultimately rather joyous piece of nostalgia hokum. There are some generally good moving scenes as we see this fantastic character finally getting ready to hang up his hat for the last time. Thanks Indy, it's been quite a ride. One can feel the four credited screenwriters grasping at inspiration and coming up short. What they did manage to make would be perfectly fine as a standalone film starring some other character, but not worthy of the whip. The good news is it's not as poor as Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The bad news is, it's not much better. I mean, that's not a glowing review, is it? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was terrible. Yesterday belongs to us, someone says at one point. And when it comes to Indiana Jones, yesterdays always will. The problem is, they already did, and today feels like a complete waste of time. It ultimately feels like a counterfeit of priceless treasure. The shape and gleam of it might be superficially convincing for a bit, but the shabbier craftsmanship gets all the more glaring the longer you look at it. There's the reviews. I've read all the negative ones. There is a couple more positive ones which I didn't read out. But overall, the enthusiasm for this film doesn't seem to be there, and I'm not surprised. We're now having a 43% rotten score, gone down from the 50%. It shows that even the critics aren't behind this film. Now I know critic views aren't anything solid to go off, it's just their opinion, but I mean, I saw Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and Harrison Ford looked past it for the franchise then. This is over 15 years later, and he's not gotten any younger. Add to that, you've got Phoebe Waller-Bridge in this film, and she's going to be bringing it down. I don't know anything she's been in which has been great. I don't rate her as an actress, and she is more of a feminist activist. She was hired for James Bond, No Time to Die, to make it appeal more to women, and look how that film turned out. But it's not just this. If we add to this alleged dialogue from the film, I fought the Nazis, you know, and you stole from indigenous people too. My god, this dialogue is just horrific if it is true. Whether it is true or not will have to remain to be seen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is. This is exactly something I would expect from modern day writers. But I also saw this on Digital Spy. Indiana Jones 5's first reviews have arrived. Now, this part just goes on to say it's been shown at Cannes, and then it just mentions some of the reviews down here, which is what I want to go through. Deadline says, however much action swirls on the surface of this kind of film, its foundations are built on reassuring nostalgia. Just hearing John Williams' score, yet another variant of the heroics and theatrics of the original, makes anyone of a certain age feel that everything is momentarily right in the world. But that isn't saying the film's good, it's complimenting John Williams' score. Radio Times. The iconic archaeologist's swan song is a little safe, but it's an enjoyable old school action adventure with more weight than Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That isn't hard to do, to be honest. The Telegraph. Ford gives it all, But while the three original films moved like page turners, this fifth instalment is painfully short of spark. The Irish Times. Nobody with a brain in their heads will compare The Dial of Destiny favourably to the first three films. There is a sense throughout of a project struggling to stand beneath the weight of its history. Variety was more positive in saying the sequel is filled with action, laughs and charm, whereas The Hollywood Reporter really liked the film as well. I mean, really liked is just a nice way of saying it's not a good film. Last month, Harrison Ford confirmed that Dial of Destiny really is his final outing as Indiana Jones, even with the planned TV series in the works. I'll talk about that in a minute. This is the final film in the series and is the last time I'll play the character. I anticipate that it will be the last time he appears in a film, he revealed, adding that he will not be involved in a TV series if it happens. Before its release, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has gotten the seal of approval from the person that matters most, Steven Spielberg. Disney CEO Bob Iger had a screening for a lot of Disney executives, and I came to the screening along with director James Mangold. Everyone loved the movie. It's really a good Indiana Jones film. I'm really proud of what Jim has done with it, he said. When the lights came up, I just turned to the group and said, damn, I thought I was the only one who knew how to make these. So, I mean, Steven Spielberg's not going to come out and say the film is rubbish, is he? It's like when James Cameron turned around and said Terminator Genisys was a genuinely good Terminator film, and then later on it turned out that he just said it. He didn't think it. It's just what he had to say at the time to get publicity for the film. And I imagine this is the same kind of thing what Steven Spielberg said. So to just come back to this part of planned TV series, I think that will very much depend on how well this film does. They are not going to plunge millions of dollars into a TV series coming off the back of Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character in this film if the film does terrible. So I wouldn't hold my breath for this series coming out. Not that I would watch it if it ever did. If you want to watch a Indiana Jones Relic Hunting style TV series, go back and find Relic Hunter starring Tia Carey. That was a great series. It'll definitely be better than the Phoebe Waller-Bridge led series will be if it ever gets made. But critics aren't loving this film. I can't see the audience score being much better. I can see it being the same or worse because it's a film nobody asked for, nobody wanted and shouldn't have been made. But how do you think this film is going to be received when it does come out? Do you think it will be good, or do you think, like a lot of these reviews have said, it's going to be very lackluster and unnecessary? Do let me know in the comments below. That's all from me. I'll have to make a fresh cup of tea.